Uh, Thank you. It's be really a great honor to be here. After Chris' inspiring talk, I guess everybody now is really confident about learning learning a language in 6 months. Right now, I'm gonna tell you something about Mandarin Chinese writing system, and you can learn Mandarin system in 6 minutes. Can you believe that? No, just kidding. Okay, but still, I'm still gonna help you to learn to read Chinese in a more efficient way. Let's get to know a little bit about Chinese first. Let me ask a question. Does any people here are trying to learn Mandarin? Or yes, please. Right. Okay. A lot of them. Are any students or teachers are gonna teach Mandarins in the future? Who wanna be a teacher? Okay, still some of them. Now, I guess many students has a feeling that Chinese writing system is really difficult. Take a look at this one. There are 7,000 morphemes in Chinese writing system. What is morphemes? Actually, it means the characters. But for daily use, you only need to acquire 3,600 Chinese characters only. And okay, let's get to know a little bit about the old way of learning Chinese. For the local kids, they have to learn Chinese by from the really simple characters. They start from learning characters, and before they start acquiring this at the really early stage, they're exposed to the environment of Mandarin for quite a long time. So there's a little bit difference between foreigners and kids because you have to acquire the meaning and the sound and also the scripts in Chinese. But still, there are still kids. They are unable to learn this. This is called dyslexia in Chinese. You know dyslexia? I guess anybody does, because even though they start learning for quite a few years, they still can't master this because they can't store the words in a systematic ways. Okay, here pops up a problems. There's many foreign students, they got such a problem is that they store like 1,000 characters, but can't make it into a systematic way. Let's take a look at these PowerPoints. Okay, there are about 280 simple characters. I guess most of it you have to learn at the really early beginnings because these characters, including those high frequency use characters, you have to use it in your daily life. For example, you have to go shopping, you have to bargain. So these kind of characters is including the message of such detailed things. Okay, then you have to go through these 200 semantic characters and as well as those 800 phonetic radicals. Does anybody know about phonetic radicals? Actually, this is the sound clue for you to predict how to read the characters. Let's think about how the local kids learn the Chinese writing system. Actually, for the first grade in the primary school, they start to learn really simple characters, about 700 characters. And then for the second grade, they are trying to learn 1,000 characters, including those characters with some strategy by using regular. They have some regular strategies. And after they go into the third grade, they have to use analogies to read all these characters. But you know that for the fourth grade, now you are gonna learn vocabularies. You know that in Chinese writing systems, characters are only just the building blocks, but vocabularies is the most important thing for you to start Mandarin speaking. If you can't conquer the Chinese writing, the characters, then there's no way you can master 30,000 vocabularies in Chinese. Okay, let's see how those phonetic radicals can help you predict the regularities in Mandarin. Here is a really simple PowerPoint that's its example. Does anybody know how to pronounce these characters? Anybody? Yeah, yes, it means the moon, right? The pronunciation is yue, right? Okay. Take a look at the regularity effects. The left part is wang, right? The right part is yue, so they combine together. Pronounce yue. This is how the phonetic works as to predict a character, sorry. So the left part is the semantic radicals. As I showed in previous slides, there are 200 semantic radicals, but not all 800 phonetics are necessary to learn for predict a sound. You only need to master about 200 or around 300 phonetic radicals is enough for you to take care of these regularity rules. The other part of this system is something that more complicated. It's called consistency effects. What is consistency effects? Okay, for primary school students, these effects happens in the 3rd grade. So let's take a look at the above line. There's 5 characters share the same phonetic compounds. Actually, the phonetic compounds pronounce pang, but the family, they all pronounce bang, just with different tonal message, okay? For example, the first one pronounce 3rd tone, 4th tone, 4th tone, okay? Then 3rd tone and 4th tone. So this means this character family, they have a really high consistency value. So once you master this, yes, you use analogy to this character family, you can easily predict 5 of it. But there are some of it can only use root memorization. There's no way you can, use any roots of it. But the good news is there are not much of it. So the bottom line, just with less, it's useless for these effects. So how do I classify with these characters? Say there are 4 types of these kind of rules. Why we classify it like this? Because it can easily help you to build up a system to read Chinese characters. For example, the regular, there are 2 types of characters, regular characters and irregular characters. And make it into short one is use R to represent regular and IR to represent irregular. And there's consistency value, okay? With high consistency value, we use C to represent. And with low consistency value, we use IR to represent this one. So they combine into 4 types. Once a character can be read as a regular consistent character, Then with another one is irregular and consistent, also a consistent family. So it's with these 2 families, regular RC character and IRC characters, it's so much easier for you to predict because you can apply the phonetics to read aloud. But with inconsistent characters for RIC is, now we have to learn a little bit late because you need to build up those those sound cues, and also you need to build up some information about Chinese. You have enough oral Chinese information, then you can use analogy. So forget about the 4-part IRIC. You can only use the root memorization. Okay, with these roots, there are, hold on. As we all know, there are only 540 high-frequency characters. You learn that at the really beginning, for example, at the first year of your study of Mandarin. It's easy. For example, le and de. Everybody knows that, right? And with the useful phonetics, there are only 200 phonetics. But you can predict 1,600 characters, which means you are able to predict by yourself 70% of the Chinese characters. Then you can go into the 4th grade. You know that? So you can start an adventure of learning vocabulary. I mean, 40,000 character families. So the really basic things, you have to build up the foundation of characters. There's one more question. With learning 500 characters to read aloud Chinese, or there's another choice, 2,500 characters to learn Chinese. Which way do you prefer? I guess everybody prefer to choose the previous one, the 500 characters, instead of learning 2,500. Is anybody think you can memorize 2,500 characters just by rote memorization? Can you raise your hand? No one, yes. So, if you can try to use this method to build up your system to read Chinese. And how we are going to learn this, actually. For the classroom in the university or in some outside centers, they will use books, textbooks. You have to read the textbooks every day, practice with sentences, and maybe copy from time to time, every time, but still cannot memorize all these characters. But with this method, you just need to use characters, and also characters by words, okay? This is the sound cue for you to build up the Chinese this method. You have to learn, like I said, 200 phonetics. And now this is the teaching materials. This is not an easy word, actually. Let's take a look at the... It's working? Sorry. Yeah, teaching materials. Now you see the flashcard about pictures showing representing the meaning, means engage. And then we are coming to this one, means a nail. Do you find there's something different with these words? Actually, the first one and the second words, they share the same phonetic radicals, right? So try to use this way. We hope we can offer you a chance to observe by yourself to build up this system. Yes, if you can, you can conquer this stage, then we are going to the next stage to figure out how the consistency works. So I guess this all is my presentation.